There is nothing like waking up to a notification in your email that you have received dividends. In today's video, we are going to look at 10 stocks that will give you that notification without breaking the bank. These cheap stocks come with big returns, and we will begin right now. The stocks we are going to look at today are all available on the TSX and are no higher than $11 a share. They are straight up companies or trusts. I have excluded split cores and ETFs from this list. They can have their own list in a future video. So without any further ado, here is number 10. Alpine Summit Energy Partners Inc. has a ticker of ALPS.U, and their shares go for $6.32 a share at the time of recording. They are based out of Vancouver, and they operate gas and oil assets in Texas. They have a dividend yield of 5.696%, which they pay out in the form of a monthly dividend of 3 cents American. Yes, you did hear me right. I did say American. There are Canadian companies on the TSX that do pay in USD. As a matter of fact, this is not the only one on this list. Of course, if you are using Wealthsimple, there will be a conversion fee on this. I do not have any earnings per share data on this one, and that is because they only started operation last September. In those 7 months, though, they experienced a ROI, return on investment, of 172.2%, which is fantastic. Up next, we have Virteous Glass Inc. It has a ticker of VCI, and their shares are priced at $5.05 each. They are based out of Airdrie, Alberta, and they are all about recycling glass. They process glass, they remove the contaminants, and then they sell their end product to the fiberglass manufacturers. They have a dividend yield of 6.337%, which they pay out quarterly in the form of an 8-cent dividend. Their earnings per share, EPS, is 0.45, and over the last year, they saw a return on investment, not including those dividends, of 112.5%. That takes us to Diversified Royalty Corp. They have a ticker of DIV, and their shares sell for $3.32 per share. They are a multi-royalty company based out of British Columbia. They acquire top-line royalties from well-managed multi-location businesses and franchisors in, of course, North America. They currently own the trademarks for Mr. Lube, Air Miles, Nurse Next Door, and Oxford Learning Centers. When all is said and done, though, that translates into a dividend yield of 6.625%, which they pay out monthly as a 1.8 cent dividend per share. They have a positive EPS of 0.19, and in the last year, they experienced 131.7% return on investment. They are a very solid, cheap stock and a nice addition to a passive income portfolio. This next one may be a little disposable. Kidding aside, they are KP Tissue Inc., and they have a ticker of KPT, and they are priced at $10.80 per share. They are based out of Mississauga, Ontario, and they operate within the disposable tissue market. They act as producers, distributors, marketers, and sellers of their disposable inventory. They have a dividend yield of 6.667%, which comes in the form of a quarterly dividend of 18 cents. Their EPS is 0.12, and over the last year, their ROI, well, in this case, it's mostly not changed very much, so they haven't made a lot. They've mostly been flat. However, at the beginning of the year, they did have a major drop in price, and they have battled back through the year and made up that entire loss. Next, we have Decisive Dividend Corporation, and they have a ticker of DE. They are priced at $4.25 per share at the time of recording. They are based out of Kelowna, British Columbia, and they are in the game of acquiring manufacturing companies, which include Blaze King, which they make hearths, Slimline, who makes agricultural sprayers, and Northside, who provides welding and fabrication solutions. They have a dividend yield of 7.059%, which comes in the form of a monthly dividend of 2.5 cents per share. Their EPS is 0.18, and over the last year, they experienced an ROI of 106.6%, which of course does not include their dividend. Up next is one of my favorites, Timbercreek Fnancial, and they have a ticker of TF. Their shares sell at $9.43 per share. They are a non-bank commercial real estate lender based out of Toronto. They provide shorter duration loans that can be customized for commercial investors. Now, when we get to their financials, they have a dividend yield of 7.317%, which comes in the form of a monthly dividend of 5.8 cents per share. Their EPS is 0.52, and over the last year, this is partially why I love them, they experienced a return on investment of 220.8%, which of course doesn't include that dividend. Holy banana bread, that is really not too shabby. Okay, coming in at number 4, we've got Alvopetro Energy Ltd. They have a ticker of ALV, and their shares sell at $5.48 per share. They are a Canadian-based resource company that operates out of Brazil. Their head office, though, is located in Calgary, but all of their operations are in Brazil, and all of their revenue also comes from Brazil. They have a dividend yield of 7.376% in the form of a quarterly dividend of 8 cents USD per share. If you remember earlier, I did say we had another. Yep, they are one of those Canadian companies that pay out American dividends even though they are on the TSX. Their EPS is 0.21, and over the last year, their ROI, not including that dividend, is 123.1%. Keep in mind, Wealthsimple would charge a conversion fee on this dividend due to it being priced in USD. Builders Capital Mortgage Corp has a ticker of BCF, and they sell for $10.51 per share at the time of this recording. They are also based out of Calgary, and they are a mortgage lender that specializes in short-term course of construction financing to builders. They have an attractive dividend yield of 7.505%, which comes in the form of a quarterly dividend of 19.7 cents. Their EPS is 0.75, and over the last year, they experienced an ROI, not including their dividend, of 113.7%. Okay, in our number 2 position, we have Orca Energy Group Inc. They have a ticker of ORC.B, and their share price is going for $5.25 a share. They are out of Tanzania, but they're a subsidiary of a UK company. They are a natural gas production and sales company. Their dividend yield is 7.619% in the form of a quarterly dividend of 10 cents per share. They have an EPS of 0.78. So far, for the most part, we have had impressive ROIs on these cheap stocks, but in this case, we are only here for the dividends. The last year has not been great for Orca, and their numbers were definitely a little flat. However, when you scale out to 5 years, they had an ROI of 138%. Okay. Okay, coming in at number 1, we've got Gamehost Inc. with a ticker of GH, and their shares sell for $8.80 per share at the time of this recording. They are also based out of Alberta, and they are a hospitality and gaming company operating with hotels and casinos. Their dividend yield is 7.841%. That comes in the form of a monthly dividend of 3 cents. They have an EPS of 0.24, and over the last year have experienced an ROI of 117%, which is actually quite awesome considering the effects on that sector by that illness. I presented these stocks today as a start to your research, and as always, your financial advisor is the end. If you guys loved this video, be excited. There is way more to come. Until then, why not watch one of these videos? And before you jump into that content, just be sure to like and subscribe to support the channel. I'll see you in the next video.